Yeah, what's going on? I'm gonna continue on in this spirit stuff. Uh, it's like I had this time frame where there was this period where it was like it would seem like I would get attacked, and then I'd go somewhere else. These people were independent of one another. I mean, and this isn't just like, look, like I did something really wrong and I was getting scolded by everybody about the same thing, right? That's not the same thing. I've had those real life experiences like that, to have the discernment to between the two, where no, this is weird. It's like almost like weird, where it's like personal, dude, and it's also recent, but then sometimes it could be mixed with something from a long time ago. Or sometimes it could come off with something recent. Or sometimes it could be something with sequence with someone who from a long time ago. But anyway, it's like, because it's by the time I've noticed this stuff, it's already been happening to me. But look, it's too crazy to want to believe. So sometimes it's got to happen in that kind of sequence where it's like a traumatic loop. But this is kind of almost different. This is like, it's kind of like, I don't know, man. It's hard to explain, but it would seem like I'd start getting attacked, right? And I'd be like, you know what, man, I'm gonna get the frick out of here, man, and go somewhere else. And it'd be weird, but it'd be like all of a sudden the spirit that was right there, that was in the same person, either it was their attitude and their stance against you, like, look, it was evil against you, and then you say you were innocent anyway, man, right? Let's just say, or let's even to say the person was just being they wanted to fight. They just wanted to fight, so they're making one. Then you go somewhere else, and all of a sudden they do the same thing. But the weird thing about it is they'll say something in their attack that'll be kind of personal or recent, and really like there should be no connection there. It's like then somehow it comes back at you from somebody else, and then you go somewhere else, same thing. It's like, look, like it follows you from place to place in a sequence, and you know, and it kind of almost seems like freaking it's just too much. But then you find out freaking other people tell you almost like identical to what you just went through. And then by the time you heard the third person doing that, interesting. But on the second one, it was like, oh my gosh, thank God, man, I'm not freaking losing my mind here. So that's one of the disclosures that I've been getting lately. Like, I've been having opportunities for people to kind of like work back through some of the stuff they lived through, and some of the freaking common like stuff that's went on with people is it spiritual narcage or societal narcage? Or in my personal belief, it's a combination. And but it was funny to hear how these two people went through the same sequence of going from place to place to place, and it was like the same thing that they were having trouble with. They tried to just circumvent it and just ended up somewhere else with the same freaking treatment. And it's like almost like it is like WTF when it happens to you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that movie with Denzel, The Fallen. So I don't know if it's just a common occurrence right now, freaking, but And then with like people, you know, like with, I thought maybe it was just kind of like, oh man, it was just me because I'm a minority. I mean, and maybe that does still have something to do with it. But I've been having testimonies from all kinds of people with strange kind of like abuse that they received in general from society, and like targeting, it would seem. And they were telling me about it, and other things like people like opening up about the spying and surveillance, and the weirdness that the phone, they're feeling from it. And I had all these videos about Google possession, spell check possession. Wait, no, it was Google Gremlins, spell check possession, and somehow electromagnetic spirits. I mean, there was this book from like 1913 called Electric Demon, and in the book it talked about the dude that basically had a freaking smartphone, and he had a freaking like Google platform or something, dude. It was interesting. But that's kind of like the realm that the spirit stuff can stretch to is that there, and also just this mundane, consistent these energy vampires and narcissistic abuse, and this kind of like this harvesting of vital life force energy that's going on out here, and these attempts to just derail you and really like just like control like the way that you're feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll go way out of the way to make sure that you feel like the 4-letter S word, like all the time, because they feel like that all the time. And it's like sometimes it's just like flawed people and their consistent like bad attitudes, but there's stuff that's even more crazier and deeper than that. And it attacks in a coordinated way, and that's what's freaking obvious about it. It'll be ridiculous and redundantly obvious, like some of the stuff that's going on, freaking, if you're really dealing with the same thing that I'm talking about here. Because I heard this from a couple people, but look, lately I've been getting disclosures, and I'm sure that this is only like the first wave of disclosures that I get from people in general, because not everybody's going to open up to you all the time, and it's just, you're not always going to have opportunities, but when you do got an opportunity, it certainly is interesting, and you almost feel and seem as if divine appointments. And in a way, that's kind of how you step out of narcissism and the victim. See, that's the thing. A victim mentality is kind of like a spirit. It's that low vibrational, desperate, defensive, inferiority, superiority, weird love-hate, self-hate relationship. It was a kind of like prepackaged like thing you could subscribe to, type of a thing, and you wouldn't even know it yourself. And I mean, that's almost spiritual too, how people get captivated and brainwashed by these ideas and their symbols and stuff, dude. And this is all kind of in the realm of spiritual discernment, spiritual warfare, because part of spiritual warfare is intelligence. It's understanding how, it's kind of like the bug man, like what is that, Orkin Man, and he's fucking looking around at everything, looking at how the bugs are getting in here, dude. And some of this stuff is really obvious, but some of it's not obvious, dude. And it's not obvious to everyone, but once you know what you're looking at, it's fucking obvious. It's like Ghostbusters, dude. And I'm living like in Amityville, and it's like monk in the night. And look, it's like those shows where the thing's gonna follow you. Dude. That's the way that I see it now. Like, look, And there's even like, look, there's stuff everywhere you go anyway that's not even attached to you necessarily, that's kind of going on out there in the residue, in the psychic residual residue. And you know, it's I don't understand it. It's not really understandable. I'm only kind of just observing it and telling you some of my observations here. And you can look what other people say about it, but this is what I've experienced of it. That it's definitely intelligent and strategic and freaking. It's almost like, yeah, it's consistent, and it's been actually, in all honesty, it seems like these attacks have been forever. You know what I'm saying? Actually, all the way back to when I was a kid, man. It's like, it's weird, actually. They'll think back far enough, but look, now they're just getting intense. Like, and it's like, it's all synchronizing and getting more like difficult to like, I don't know. It's just getting so difficult. It's like, you know what I'm saying? I know it's pretty freaking crazy, okay? But look, I'm not scared right now or nothing. But it's pretty freaking spooky, bro. Spooky just means like, whoa, that's freaking spooky. It doesn't mean, just because you see something spooky doesn't mean you're scared. It's just, that's an adjective about something else. But I can still acknowledge that it's kind of spooky. You know what I'm saying? And it's maybe it's always been a part of the existence. These things have already been here, freaking shape-shifting and jumping in and out of people, just causing chaos and havoc. And but I'm aware of it, and I'm noticing like things that from the past have like hit me in freaking coordination as well. Some of these like things that I've seen before, it's like I'm kind of more experienced about this stuff now. So it's like I don't know. I'm just gonna keep freaking seeing how freaking so far so good freaking works with this stuff that's going on. I mean, it's like the spirits also are like mass possession, or like, look, when people get swept up in a fad or a trend, those are spirits too. Like that is a manifestation of a mass spirit, like a legion. You know what I'm saying? And it can happen. That can happen. So what I'm saying is, these small little strategic, personal spirits can get on people too, where it's like, man, dude, it's just, what would, you even hear this when people that do something that's really stupid, they say, what would fucking possess you to do that? There's a reason why they say that, because look, it is like literally something possessed them to do it, and it's like, just look, bad influence, bad idea, something like, look, toxic thinking patterns. It got there from somewhere, dude, and it's the way I see it anyway. Freaking whatever you're looking at, it's just, it didn't begin there. You can track something back and get some, like, look, some backdrop and intelligence. Like, look, literally, it's like, look, track. You can track this stuff just like a deer tracks through the woods, man. Freaking, and you can track its little footprints and the broken branches and the freaking piles of shits, because, like I was saying about the spirits, that you can actually like identify specific ones. You know what I'm saying? Or still know that there's something going on, some kind of spirit, not be able to identify it, but at least if you can know it, it's still kind of discernment. And you can use your gut, your intuition, and all your experiences, and your, and your presentness in the moment to understand some of the stuff that's going on. gotta go to training to